Yes, lads, you're right, and welcome to a special day after debrief. It's the day of debrief because that performance was that rancid. Liverpool have just lost 3-1 to Brentford at the Brentford Community Stadium in what is the worst performance of the season so far. It was so bad. It pinpoints everything that's wrong, and what it has done now is forced the need for a lot of uncomfortable conversations around not only the club but people within the club, people who I never thought I would be having conversations about, but I have to based on not just this result but this season as a whole. It starts off Liverpool with the better team for the first 10 minutes. Darwin Núñez had a big chance, he took it round David Raya, and then Ben Mee brilliantly blocked on the line. And then we went back into our shell. We went back to doing the same old crap that we'd done at the start of the season, which did not work. We revolved back to that. Brentford capitalised. Bryan Mbeumo, fantastic counter-attack. Virgil van Dijk caught in mud, couldn't get back. Alisson with a great save. But then from the resulting corner, Ben Mee flicks it on to Ibrahim Konaté's leg, and it sneaks in at the near post. 1-0. To Brentford, and just like that the game changed. We could not for the life of us create a good chance. We had a Tsimikas effort which he probably should have scored. That was the best chance we created, but you wouldn't want it falling to him. But Brentford with the team that looked more likely to get a second, and then get a second they did. A corner came in. Ethan Pinnock had not one, not two, but 3 attempts. Alisson saved all 3, and then Wissa put in the rebound. Luckily for us though, VAR ruled it offside, rightly so. 5 minutes or 10 minutes after that, Brentford had another corner, and Bryan Mbeumo once again whips it in, and Yoane Wissa is able to chest down a cross on the penalty spot. I'm going to reiterate that just because it does sound absolutely nonsensical. It did actually happen. Yoane Wissa was allowed in a Premier League football match against Liverpool Football Club to bring a corner down on his chest and volley it under no pressure. Flew into the back of the net. Luckily for us, it took a slight deflection off an offside Ben Mee. Goal disallowed. Great, we've got away with it twice now. Got away with it twice, lucky us. Let's just keep calm. It's a couple of minutes before half time. Let's just keep calm, ride out the storm, get back in half time, regroup. No, that's not what we do. Instead, Harvey Elliott, in his infinite wisdom, tries to take on a man inside our own half, loses out, and a mere 30 seconds after the goal was ruled out, the same player who's just had his second goal ruled out heads out home for a third. Alisson Becker nearly closed it off the line, but it was such a good header. 2-0 Brentford, and this one is not going to get ruled out for us. So, going in half time, 2-0 down, and Jurgen Klopp made 3 separate substitutions. Off came Virgil van Dijk, off came Kostas Tsimikas, and off came Harvey Elliott for Naby Keita, Andy Robertson and Joel Matip. Second half, similar start to the first half. Liverpool were the better team, created more chances, and unlike the first half this time, we did score after Darwin Núñez was caught offside when he found the back of the net for the first time in 4 games. Really good finish from him on his weaker foot. Fantastic little lofted finish over David Raya, but he was a yard offside. Goal didn't count, but on the 55th or 56th minute, Trent Alexander-Arnold brings down a wonderful crossfield ball, cuts inside onto his left foot, puts in a delicious cross, and who's there but Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain of all people to head it home, and Liverpool suddenly 2-1. The pressure's on, the momentum, everything's there now. Surely the fans are lively in the corner. They can push on. They can, kick on, get this goal, get this equaliser, push for this win. No. Liverpool Football Club go straight back into their shell and do exactly what they've done after the first 10 minutes of the first half and throw it away yet again. For the last 20 minutes of that game, Brentford were the better team again. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. And in the 83rd minute, or whenever it was, Bryan Mbeumo played in on goal after Naby Keita loses it out in the midfield. Ibrahim Konaté tries to throw his leg out and, catch Mbeumo out. It's a foul. No, it's a joke. Ibrahim Konaté mistake. Bryan Mbeumo 3-1. and that was it. Liverpool torrid on the road again. There's one star that comes out this any credit, and it's Alisson. And I've said that every game. And it's a really, really scary stat that Liverpool have conceded 51 big chances in 17 games, which averages out to about 3 a game. If Liverpool did not have Alisson Becker at this football club, we would be where Everton are. We would be languishing in and around the relegation zone, and that is a terrifying, terrifying prospect. Really, really is. Can't fault him. He nearly saved the second one. The first one's just unlucky. He doesn't expect it to deflect off Canate, and by Alisson's standards, he'll be disappointed with the third one, but most keepers aren't going to save that anyway. Trent was sound. Defensively solid. Attacking wise, there was a little bit too much of a desperate cross at times, but you can only put in a desperate cross when no one is making the right move for him. That's about all the positives I've got for the starters. Ibrahim Konate, really poor by his standards. He's come in this season after having a really good end to the last season. Come in this season when he's played, been fantastic. Today, looked really poor. Didn't want a physical battle at times against Johan Visser. Was just a bit late, a bit languish, a bit lax. All them where, you know what, in possession he was so lazy, it was a little bit misplaced here and there. It just wasn't a great Ibrahim Konate performance. And it just gets accentuated further when Virgil van Dijk drops that. Virgil van Dijk was subbed off after 45 minutes. Virgil van Dijk was subbed off because he had an injury. Virgil van Dijk deserved to get subbed off in the 45th minute with or without injury. That is how bad he was. The man, this was a real sort of eye-opener. This was sort of one of them games where I think he'll look back on it and go, I'm not what I was. Because Bryan Mbeumo had him on toast for the first 45 minutes. And it was the chance that led up to the first goal. When it's played into Visser, and Visser plays it in behind Van Dijk to Bryan Mbeumo, and Van Dijk can't catch up. Virgil van Dijk, in his pomp, at his best, could catch up to Adama Traore, he could catch up to Kyle Walker, he could catch up to anyone and everyone. He was that quick. But today, he could not keep up with Bryan Mbeumo. And that was one of them sort of sobering moments where you're sitting there going, wow, this isn't Van Dijk. This isn't the Van Dijk of 18-19 or 19-20. This is the new Van Dijk. And I don't necessarily like this new Van Dijk very much. Virgil van Dijk was also so passive. He needs to start going in for tackles. You're a 6'5" big man. No attacker wants to go up against you. Use that strength. Use that prowess you've got to tackle. Please, because what we're seeing right now, you're just so passive. Teams just pass it round you and it's pointless. You're the leader at the back. You lead by example. And that today was piss poor from our captain. Piss poor. Kostas Tsimikas. Now, Kostas Tsimikas. Haha, Kostas. Simi. There was a weird narrative, should we say, at the start of this season that I was not a part of. Kostas Tsimikas should be starting ahead of Andy Robertson. Kostas Tsimikas is better than Andy Robertson. Kostas Tsimikas is what Liverpool need to win the title ahead of Andy Robertson. Kostas Tsimikas is bad. When Kostas Tsimikas plays like this, he's bad. He's really bad. He can't lace Robertson's boots, and you saw the difference in chalk and cheese after half time when Andy Robertson came on the pitch. Kostas Tsimikas is a man who I think, he's 26. Let's not get this twisted. Let's not act like he's a 22, 23-year-old. He's still got time to develop, still got stuff to learn. He's about to enter his prime. He's about to enter his prime. And this is a man who still does not know what goal side of his winger is. So the wing is there. The goal is there. The wing is there. You, as a defender, would go there. Your goal side. If the winger turns and has a shot, you block it. Kostas Tsimikas stands there. And then they pass it round Kostas Tsimikas, and the winger has a free run at goal. It's stupid. It's the most basic thing you learn at under 6 level as a defender. Get goal side of your man, and Tsimikas still doesn't do it. He also is way too aggressive in a pressure and hardly ever wins it. He does more harm than good. And I I'll hold my hands up. I said maybe you should start him against Brentford. How wrong was I? How wrong was I? Dreadful from him. Dreadful from him. And we need Robertson back in that team for Brighton ASAP. Fabinho. I thought we turned the corner, mate. I did. I really did think we turned the corner. Today was a not very welcome return to what I've seen from you all season. Slow to the ball, slow in a tackle, at least on the ball. You were a little bit quicker, but again, just half a yard off the pace, and it hurts us when we rely on you so much. When you're such a key component to how this team is supposed to work, and you're off the pace, it hurts everything. And that is a bigger issue within itself, which I will touch on later. Harvey Elliott. God, you're making it so hard. You're making it so hard at the minute, Harvey. You really, really are. Because I like you. I like what you can do. But you're not a centre mid. And at some point, you are going to have to put your hands up and go to Jurgen Klopp and say, stop. Please stop. I can't. This isn't me. This isn't me yet. It may not be me ever. You are a 19-year-old who is barely physically built enough to play on the wing in the Premier League. You are not physically built enough to play in centre mid, and we saw it today. So, just off the pace. You got booked in the 8th minute because your reading of the game for a centre mid wasn't there. Your passing, dreadful. Your vision, poor. The confidence that I want to see from these young players, it's gone because he's not a centre mid and he's too in his own head about trying to be safe and sound and not do what he does best, which is get forward, and he will only ever get back to that if you stop playing him in bloody centre mid. Play him on the wings, play him as a 10, play him for the position that you bought him for, not as an auxiliary. Not every player is James Milner. Sometimes players aren't flexible, and Harvey Elliott as a centre mid is not one of those. So stop, Jurgen, stop. Because you saw the difference when Keita came on. Even though he made the mistake for the 3rd goal, he was so much better. Wow, who else is there? Thiago, poor. Way too passive today. And I think that was a team issue as a whole, but I'm going to point it out on you, especially Thiago. So many times when you could have just pushed us forward a little bit, it was sideways, it was backwards, it was safe and it was sound, and it won't be pointed at me if it goes wrong. You were brought in, you have been, for a number of games for us now, the key to unlock these defences. You were the furthest thing from that today. The furthest thing from that today. So much sideways, so much backwards, so much crap. It was so bad. And these are the type of games you were brought for. These are the type of games we need you for. These are the type of games where you look in your midfield to find that world-class creator who can just change the game like that. And you were not that today. And while I have sympathy for you across a season, in a one-off game, I do need better from you. I do, because today was so poor from the entire midfield. And Jurgen Klopp is coming out and saying, I don't need a midfielder. I'm annoyed that you keep on bringing it up. Yada. Joke, man. It's a joke. In the summer, 3 days before the summer window ended, you sat there and said, I made a mistake. I'll hold my hands up. I made a mistake. We need a midfielder. And who do you get? You get Arthur Melo. Arthur Melo. You probably didn't even want Arthur Melo, but because you'd waited so long, you got Arthur Melo. You got him. Great. He's a midfielder. He plays against Napoli. He gets 15 minutes against Napoli. And you watch him going, oh, he's a little bit, he's not. He looks a little bit slow. He looks a little bit sluggish. About 3-4 days later, it comes out. He's about a month and a half away from match fit. He's about a month and a half away from match fit. So the midfielder that you signed to help your midfielder crisis here and now isn't actually able to help your midfield crisis here and now. At that point. So then you're sitting there going, okay, well, let's make the best out of a bad situation. Go chuck him in the under-21s, get him some match fitness. Maybe he can make it in November and help us in that little running before the World Cup. Second under-21 game, Arthur Melo does his hamstring and is out for 5 months. Whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-doo. So that midfield problem that you had solved, and I do mean big air brackets and solved, is now broken again because your solution is out for 4 months. But now, nothing has changed. Absolutely nothing has changed from the summer. The backups have not shown me why they should get the starting spot. They're still injury prone. There's still crap on the ball. There's still crap off the ball. We are still getting picked apart through the midfield like it's not even there. But now something's changed. Now you're sitting there going, we don't need another midfielder. We've not got monopoly money. We do it the right way. Joke, man. Joke, man. The lack of spending is the reason we are in this position. The only way to get out of this position is to spend money. It is to spend money. So if we leave this January transfer window with no midfielder, it is the biggest piece of gross negligence Jurgen Klopp has done as manager of this football club. An absolute disgrace. Who else was there? Oxlade-Chamberlain scored, so that'll skew ratings. Another crap game from another crap player. Counting down the days till he's gone, to be honest. Counting down the days. Can't pass a ball. Trips over himself when dribbling. Just crap, man. Just crap. But he scored the header, so it's okay. What did he do after the header? Fucking nothing. What did he do before the header? Fucking nothing. Who's next? Nunes. Please just start scoring. Please just start scoring, Darwin. Please. Because the rest of your game is actually quite good. You're still a threat. You're still creative, this, that and the other. But I can't continue to look past the lack of goals. I can do it for a little bit longer because you had a spell before the World Cup. You've got about 4 or 5 more games to give before I really start to ramp it up because it cost us today. It did. There's no other way to put it. It cost us. You had 2 big chances and you missed them both. It cost us. Mo Salah, anonymous. Tactically, because of the shit centre midfield situation we've got, where you're playing Harvey Elliott in centre mid, you've now forced Mo Salah out to the wing like he's Mark Albrighton from Leicester's 15-16 Premier League campaign, whipping in crosses, being a touchline winger. The man who's won 3 Premier League Golden Boots, 2-time PFA Player of the Year winner, and we're making him hug the touchline to accommodate for shit behind him. Joke. He was anonymous today because he's too far out wide. You found form, Jurgen, right before the World Cup. You figured it out. The diamond, 2 strikers up top. Nunes, Salah, the link-up was great. Firmino in behind, Carvalho in behind. It worked. Harvey Elliott, when he had a lot of support around him, could pass for centre mid. It worked. But the moment we return from the goddamn World Cup, it's straight back to your safe word. It's safe back to what you know in 4-3-3. And it is a joke. It cost us at the start of the season. It's costing us now. And Champions League is under real threat. And Cody Gakpo does not fix this. He doesn't. These issues are so deep-rooted that Cody Gakpo isn't even going to scratch the surface of it. What needs to be done? Because that's the big question. We know what went wrong. How do we fix it? Answer A is a minor miracle, which is probably what we're going to rely on. Answer B, which is what I want to happen, you go out and you buy 2 midfielders. I don't know who. I'm not a scout for the football club. You have a scouting department. Go identify midfielders on the market right now who are available, who have legs, who run hard, who allow you to press high up the pitch, because we tried to change too quickly. We had so much success as a hard-working, leg-running team. That's what we were. We weren't pretty on the ball in midfield. Jordan Henderson's never been pretty on the ball, but Jordan Henderson had legs. Jordan Henderson would cover, and he would allow the people who are good on the ball to do what they do. That's what he would allow. Right now, we're trying to play a high press with players who don't have the legs for it, and who would much rather get their foot on the ball and create with it. Joke. How are we in this situation? How has Jurgen Klopp not realised that this could be a problem? How has Pep Linders not realised this could be a problem? I don't know. We are in January 2023, and It's taken the fans to realise it's a problem before the goddamn managers have done. And it's a joke. So, you go out and buy not one, but 2 midfielders to solve this problem. You go and find 2. The midfield market isn't like the striker market. There's options out there. Go and buy some players. You got yourself into this mess. You pay to get your way out of this mess. No other way about it. No other way. So your midfield is also at that point. That's not going to fix it all. You have to be much stricter on your team selections. Virgil van Dijk today got subbed off because he was injured. Virgil van Dijk today should have been subbed off because he was crap. That's why he should have come off. He should have come off because he was crap. He was crap and he was costing us more than he was helping us. You have to be ruthless with that sort of stuff. What else can you do? A system change. 4-3-3 is dead. It is dead. 4-3-3 is gone. 4-2-3-1, 4-1-2-1-2, even the 4-4-2, they suit this team better than the 4-3-3. You get the best out of more players in other systems than 4-3-3. You had great success in your 4-3-3, but if you love something, let it go. Let the 4-3-3 go. Let it live its legacy out there and switch to a 4-2-3-1. Switch to a diamond. Switch to a 4-4-2. Because all we're doing now is putting square pegs in round holes and it is not doing us any good. It's not doing us any good. Top 4 is a real need. We have to get top 4. If we want to be able to get Jude Bellingham, which the club has spent 4 years trying to do, 4 years of hedging bets, 4 years of squirreling money away. If we want to get Jude Bellingham, you need top 4. And I will tell you right now, we will not get top 4 with this team as it is. The furthest thing from it, we'll be playing Conference League before Champions League. Joke. There's so much to fix. There's so much to not like about this football club. And I said it, last thing before I go. I said it. The idea of Liverpool playing is much more enjoyable than watching us play at the minute. The idea of going to watch Liverpool is so much better because I know what we can be. And people are saying this is the next banter era. And it's a crap year for the club. But at least with other banter eras it was funny because I didn't expect anything. I couldn't expect Barini and Lambert and Markovic and Balotelli to do something. I couldn't expect that. I expect stuff off this team, which is where the disappointment comes from. And it's so disappointing. Hopefully Cody Gakpo comes in, has a positive impact, but Cody Gakpo does not fix our problems. He's the furthest thing from fixing our problems. Anyway, rant over. The subs were alright. He only made 3. I don't know why Fabio Carvalho didn't get on the fucking pitch. Ben Doak just was not on the bench. We left Ben Doak at home, one of our brightest attacking prospects, for Nat Phillips, even though we had 2 centre-backs on the bench. Another stupid move. But anyway, I digress. This club is in a state at the minute. There's turmoil from top to bottom. Who knows what's going on? Get the sale done. Get the midfielders in. Save this season. Focus on the next one. It's actually pretty simple. But yeah, that's it. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell, follow the socials down below. You'll find out my live thoughts in games. Normally they're not very nice because we're not very good at the minute. And yeah, fingers crossed the Reds can sort it out because there's a real risk of us letting ourselves down this year. Anyway, thank you all for watching. In a bit.